Well, hello internet and welcome to Artoves Dev Chunks. Today we're going to understand pyramid programming using the loops. Well, we have gone through a bit of programming tutorials on pyramids, but before we go forward, we need to understand the basic concept, how these pyramids basically work, in order to go forward with much more nasty programming. So, today we're going to talk about this. Can't you see it? Oh, I'm sorry, this and this. So, how to program these pyramids with iteration and loops? We gotta make a clear picture of these kind of pyramids and the similar ones in our mind. So, let us start. If you concentrate or not even concentrate, you can see that these pyramids are mere rows and columns. You are not able to visualize, let me help you. Now you can see these are just tables, combination of rows and columns. So as you see here, there is first row, first column, second row, second column, third row, third column, and correspondingly fourth and fifth rows and columns. So we need to understand how do we need to program and go about these pyramids using loops. So as I told you, it is a combination of rows and columns. So if you go through or just need to program this, you need to understand we need to manage the rows and we need to manage the columns. So for each of these identities, we need to create two loops. So let's get going. Here we have a sample pyramid, and first of all we need a loop to control the rows. So we need a for loop. You can use any loop according to your preference. I just prefer using for loops for such problems. So the first thing is the loop is going to start from 1 as the row number is 1. How much is it going to go? Well, that depends on the number of rows, but you see here we have 5 rows, so we'll go up to 5, and then each time we are going to increment the row by 1. So that's it. So when I equals to 1, there will be the first row which is selected, the next time the second row, the third row, the fourth row, and similarly the fifth row. Now when we have gone through with all the rows, we need to manage the columns when the pointer is at each row. So when I equals to 1, when I equals to 2, that is when we are in the first row, in the second row, in the third row. We need to define a for loop, or any loop for that matter, to manage the pattern or the design. And so we're using another for loop. Now if you see carefully, in this particular case, in this kind of pyramid, you see the number of stars in each row is equal to the row number. In the first row it has only 1 star, in the second row it has 2 stars. So we need to define a condition that starts from 1 basically, so we give it int j equals to 1, and that goes up to the row number. And as we have defined a loop that tracks the row number, we can just put a condition of j less than equal to I. So every time j starts with 1 and goes up to the number, the row number, pardon me. So that is the loop. And what we need to do is we need to print a star inside. And we're using printf. You can use print for Java, printf for C, or cout for C++, or any kind. This is just the basic concept, pure logic. Why we're using printf and not printing a line? Because you see in each row we are printing the stars one after the other in the same line. But as we know, we need to shift each time a row is finished. So we come out of the loop and print a new line so that the next row is went on to, and that's it. That is our first. Now let us try and run. The first time when I equals to 1, the row 1 is selected. Now j equals to 1 and I is less than equals to 1, so it's going to print a star. The first column will be printed. Next time when j becomes 2, it will exit out the inner loop and goes back and puts the value of I to 2. The next time the second row is selected, and it's again repeated with j equals to 1 and j equals to 2. So the second column is also printed. The next time when j equals to 3, it gets out of the inner loop, it changes the row, goes to the third row, I equals to 3, and then again repeats the process for 1, 2 and third column, first, second and third column. Again it changes the line, makes I equals to 4, repeats it for 4 times and goes to fifth, and after I equals to 5, when I becomes 6, it exits out the loop and the pyramid is printed. So that was easy. Now let us take an example of a similar pyramid. In this case you see the number of stars in each row is equal to the maximum number of rows minus the row number minus 1. Didn't get that? See, like the maximum number of rows here is 5, and the number of stars in each row is 5 minus the row number minus 1. Like in the first row it is 5 minus 1 minus 1, that is 5. In the second row it's 5 minus 2 minus 1, that is 5 minus 1, that is 4. In the third row it is 5 minus 3 minus 1, that is 5 minus 2, that is 3. So in this similar case we need to define it from going from I to the second case. We can see it is like the number of stars in here is the difference of the maximum number of rows to the row number. Like in the second row it's 5 minus 2 plus 1, that is 3, so equal to 5. So we go, like in the second row we go from 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 times, and the next is j plus plus. Similarly we print star, we print, and we see 1 2 3 4 5, then 1 2 3 4, then 1 2 3, then 1 2, then 1, and loop gets over. Well, thank you so much for your interest in watching this video. Please do like and subscribe.